So I'll say, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to We're Not Racist, We're Talking About Aliens. Today I'm joined by Matt
Yep.
and Noah.
Hello.
Noah's here for the first time ever, as he has been ridiculously helping his family this weekend.
Yep. And you might be able to hear his brother in the background. Just ignore him. Alright.
Yeah, unlike us, Noah doesn't have privacy.
No.
No, that's not a thing. I've never had that before.
Okay. So what are we talking about today, Lam?
Alright, so today we're talking about a Castaway scenario. So we have actually had a look at this and talked about it off stream. Quite a bit, actually. So we're going to go over what we did talk about off stream, and then we're going to go from a completely new perspective.
So I'll brief you in what we talked about the other day. We were sitting discussing what we should do, and we started talking about if we were in a castaway situation. We went over what it would be like on a tropical island where plants grow all year round, rainy season, dry season, whatever. We talked about sharks, crabs, what you'd eat, how you'd get protein and calcium and stuff.
And
We
how
cover
you
all
would,
the
and how you would use a shark's lungs.
Okay, still making fun of me. I know sharks don't have... But yeah, we'll go into all that sort of stuff. Some of that stuff later on again. But
Yeah.
what we're doing today is we thought, well, let's change it. So let's change it to a volcanic setting. An island with a volcano. So it's not tropical anymore. It's really just a volcano with some forests, some beaches, a cliff face, and a coral reef.
And lizards. There are lizards.
Oh, lizards, yeah.
Yes.
I'll
We
bring
decided
up, I'll bring up
to
the image
set it-
now, so Matt, you can explain it.
Okay. So on the map, if you guys are looking at it, you're looking at the map?
Yep.
Okay. So if you look in the top left corner, all this yellow sort of color that goes all the way down is beach. Then up the top left and top right, with that dark green, is forest. There's a volcano in the middle, as you can probably tell, and a cliff face on the right side. And this little stretch of orange and green is just like flat grassland. Like there's no trees. There's a couple of bushes, but there's no trees.
Yeah.
And this little blue stripe that goes from top all the way around the volcano is a I don't want to say fresh water,
It's
But
a
it's
stream.
but it's not salt water. If that makes any sense.
Alright, so
yeah,
it's,
and the volcano's not active, is it? It's
No, or we'd be dead in a matter of
Yeah.
minutes.
pretty sucky.
Yep.
But even though it's not active, it still has a lot of resources that a volcano would have.
Yeah.
Okay. So the way we're going to do this today is we're going to give the hypothetical situation that it's the three of us, and we're going to the island to survive without anything, or our boat crashes or whatever. But the
2
main plot
years?
point, yeah, 2 years. But the main
2
plot point
years.
is we can't leave. That isn't the goal. The goal is
Surviving for 2 years.
not just surviving for 2 years, but making life enjoyable,
Yeah.
and how we'd go about making it enjoyable. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So first off, what we're going to start with is we have one rule, and that's we can take 3 things with us: our clothes, and any like loose pieces that the boat that we came in may have.
yeah.
Which is probably like steel.
Windows.
Windows, yeah. And they're on a boat, so there'd be pretty thick glass, which would be very, very useful.
Anyway, so we'll go around. We'll start with Liam. What 3 things are you going to take with you, Liam?
A survival knife, for starters. Flint and steel, which is generally a pretty useful thing. And probably like a rain jacket or something.
like a waterproof coat.
Yeah, because we could use that for distilling water and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, since Liam has already said survival knife, that means I would need to bring one, would I?
Well, you can if
wouldn't
you
have
want
to build
to.
like a full Swiss Army knife, but you're
Yeah.
probably going to want something to cut with so we can all work at the same time.
Yeah.
But it's up to you. You don't have to.
Yeah. Again, I would probably bring a survival knife. Again.
Mhm.
I would bring fishing line, like fishing wire,
Mhm.
because that's pretty useful. It's strong and we can use it for a lot of things. But I don't know what else I would bring. The third
The
thing.
bucket. We talked about a
Yes,
bucket.
the bucket could be on a boat, but 2 buckets is pretty good. So yeah, a bucket. That's right.
Yeah, 2 buckets
I
would
think.
make good use for distilling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But my 3 items is very odd. I'd go really left field. I'm going more left field than I went last time. So 3 things I'm taking with me is garden clippers.
Okay.
Because if you don't know, garden clippers are beast
Yeah,
at
they
like cutting plants, and it's better than any Swiss Army knife. Only thing is, that's the only thing you get with it is clippers.
are. Yeah.
I'm gonna
That's it.
bring
A lighter. Oh. wait.
Oh, maybe a lighter. I don't think we need a lighter because Liam.
No.
Yeah, he's got flint and steel.
So
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna bring.
And we've also got the glass from the ship as well,
Yeah.
which we can use.
As for second, I'm gonna bring a pen
Yes.
or a pencil. No, probably a pen because pencils can snap and waste the lead.
Yeah.
The thing with pens, right, is that you can rip off a piece of bark and draw what you're gonna design before you build it, so you don't build something and then realize, wait, this isn't gonna structurally work.
Yeah.
And by the time the pen runs out of ink, you're gonna have something else to make
Yeah.
writing out of.
Because as soon as you create your first fire, you effectively have enough charcoal
At least,
to be
yeah.
able
Yeah.
to like draw what you need.
And for the third thing that I'm gonna
Pin-ups.
take. What'd you say?
Pin-ups.
Pin-ups.
Pin-ups. We're gonna be there 2 years with no one else.
Oh no.
knowing me, I can hold off. I'm not gonna go insane.
I might just edit this part out here.
I think maybe. Not sure, because we already have everything we really need.
Yeah.
Maybe I usually like
Shovel. It's good for
yeah,
killing
shovel.
sharks.
a shovel.
Yeah.
Well, you don't really need to use it for killing, but for digging, because
Yeah, but it's like a steel shovel. It's gonna kill a shark in like 2 hits. So
yeah,
pretty useful.
yeah, okay, that's it. So a
Yeah.
shovel, a pen, and clippers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now we know what we've got. Let's say first day, we're on the island. What do we do?
Well, what part of the island do we start on?
I would
I mean-
say that that little curve in the beach.
The little gulf
Yeah.
would start like on the shore there.
Alright.
Yeah.
And it's just us, our tools, and like some snakes and lizards. Like that's about it.
What about the ship, the boat that we were on? Can we steer that?
The boat.
to be able to
I'm
salvage.
assuming the boat would come. You'd bring the boat would bring itself in. Like we crashed it, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So pieces of the boat and like hunks of the boat would float in.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
wouldn't have it all on the first day. Like we'd have to wait a week for
Yeah.
for the tide to bring in all the boat pieces.
Well, it wouldn't be a lot, but it would certainly be enough.
Yeah. For the hypothetical situation, let's say most of the boat makes it to the beach, whether it's on the bottom or the top.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what do you guys think? What do you think?
What
guys
about
thinks first?
what about other pieces of like wreckage and stuff that come up that wash up, like broken bottles or stuff like
We
that?
can use them. Yeah.
Will there be any of that?
Probably a couple of bottles.
Some nets, maybe.
No, I don't think nets. No.
No, probably not nets.
All right.
Chances are, if you're near an island, no one's going to be dead. So, like, if
And
you're near an island and you're catching fish, you can rod because you can just stand on the beach and sea surf and get some fun out of it instead of just sitting on a boat with a net.
Well,
Mm.
if you're a major fishing company, then
Oh yeah.
using a net is going to be much more efficient than setting up shop on an island.
Well, there might be a net. I don't know. I'm just assuming that
Yeah.
bottles and pieces of wood maybe
Yeah.
is all that rocks up.
What about
Any like little steel pieces would be good since I
Mm.
have fishing wire.
what about little pieces of well, not little pieces. Sorry, not little pieces. What am I talking about? Like oil barrels and stuff.
No, we wouldn't have oil barrels.
Even if it did happen, let's just rule that out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. It's just because that sometimes makes it easier to get a boat and
Survive,
get going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we don't want to leave. Remember,
Oh right. Yeah.
if we have a boat, it would be to catch larger fish
All right.
Yeah.
or to migrate island maybe.
Okay.
But
Can
let's-
we see any islands in the distance, or do we
No.
have to like totally
No.
just make a boat for it?
No.
Okay.
No cruise ships go past either, so there's no point jumping on shore because we don't want to leave again.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's our first move?
Well, we're on that little cove in there, so there's
Forest quite close.
yeah, there's forest quite close, but of course we don't have a map of the area, so all we can really see is like a little
Shore.
yeah, the
Yeah.
shore, the
and,
beach,
and a length of beach.
yeah. And
So we
because
probably
this
have to.
because this is the size of Phillip Island, pretty much, you
Yeah.
probably won't be able to see that far down the beach either.
Yeah. So what I'd be thinking is not
Start exploring.
starting a not like starting a fire right away, but
building a
setting up
campfire.
a fire. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we do need it, we just need to light it.
Yeah, I agree with that. And then after we do that, we should.
Look
I think
for fresh
I
water.
would. Yeah, look for fresh water,
Yeah.
and I'd probably go looking for easily cuttable plants.
Yeah. I would assume, since Liam has the cutting knife and you have the pen, you two would go exploring and I'd stay on the beach.
Yeah.
Sure.
Plus,
like-
you can use your fishing
Yeah.
line to make
Yeah.
a net or something and start catching
Fish. Yeah.
Okay, so that's what we do. So let's speed up time. So me and Liam have not completely walked around, but we've gone through the length of the river.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we don't know what's behind the volcano, but
No.
we know so far what the coast to the volcano looks like.
Yeah. So we've seen like the grasslands, and we've seen a little bit in the distance. We can see a little bit of the cliff at the like top right.
And more forest, but we didn't go that far because we didn't cross the river yet.
Yeah.
So, what would we set up if we let's use the situation of building shelter.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that because I'm very ingenuitive,
Yeah.
that I'd likely be the one to not completely build, but the one to design.
And I'd be
And-
probably the one that would build it.
Yeah, and you'd help me build it.
Yeah.
Because you know how weak I am. I couldn't lift up a log if I tried.
No.
No. I would kind of be like searching for small trees.
Yeah, me too. Because I've got garden clippers, so you can cut all the leaves off and use that as a...
Yeah,
Which is
and like
really-
cut down the trunks.
Yeah,
Like
well, I couldn't cut down the chunks with some
No.
garden clippers, but...
no, I would.
We've always got the shovel.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
but you don't want to completely wreck the shovel, because you still have to dig with it.
Well, a shovel doesn't have to be sharp to dig. It just has to have a
Be a
bucket,
spade.
kind of.
And it's still pretty steel, so it's like it's gonna cut through a skull of a shark. So
Maybe if we wanted to build a house, it's just an idea that I just thought of now. If we've got a shovel, we might as well dig a big enough hole and put a roof on it.
yeah, that would be
For
really
a makeshift
yeah,
house anyway.
that'd be pretty efficient.
Because we
wouldn't have to
can just
worry.
move the roof to get out and put the roof back on. And that
Yes.
way we save time, we save resources, and it's
Yeah.
also safe from.
And sturdy.
Only problem is you want to build it further.
You'd
Because
probably
when
want
you
to
dig down,
build it.
you might find water, and that might be a problem because we're not sleeping in.
And
Yeah.
the other kind of small issue with that is because it's not up in the air. It is possible that like a snake or a bunch of spiders or
Yeah,
something
that's
could
true.
come in.
Hmm.
So that's why it's always better to try and sleep in a hammock or something. And hammocks are pretty easy to set up as well.
Oh yeah, hammock. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. I didn't even think of a hammock.
What kind of
Or at least-
forestry is actually around? Is it palm trees or like deciduous?
Bit of both. The closer to the beach, the more tropical the plants. I think that's the equation.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like that back forest with the cliff is probably all like wood trees.
Yeah.
But then closer to the beaches is probably palm trees, banana trees.
Yeah.
Fawns, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. The palm trees would be very useful for like if you could get their leaves, you could very easily make a hammock with one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I know what I should have brought for the third thing.
What?
Duct tape. Because you if you've seen Mythbusters, you know what duct tape
Yeah.
can do.
Oh yeah, duct tape can do a lot.
Duct tape holds the universe.
What did I bring? I brought clippers, a pen, and what? And the shovel. That's right.
Yeah,
I need the
shovel.
shovel.
The
so-
shovel.
See, now would we like our goal for the place that we're staying would be like a proper house, like kind of shack.
Well, not a shack. Well, that would be the temporary goal.
Yeah.
But
So-
we'll
Yeah.
be looking for a house where we can enjoy living in it, if that makes
Yeah.
any sense. Like it's built up enough to the point where the floors are solid, and
Yeah.
Sure.
the walls, there's not air coming through the walls.
All right.
Yeah.
But a temporary objective would be to get that hut
Yeah.
or a small shack anyway
And
from
Yeah.
the pit, or the hammocks from the hammocks in the pit.
yeah.
What we
See-
probably do is dig a pit, build a house on top of that, and then we've got a hut on top and storage underneath.
Hmm.
Mm,
A hut on top.
no, that's not gonna work.
Not gonna work?
No.
Um,
I was thinking as soon as we build a shack, then we can start building on the proper house.
Hmm.
And the house would
Definitely.
be like, you know, the grasslands. It's not deep in the forest, but
Yeah.
it's real easy to find, and we can see the coast if anything.
I was thinking maybe if you look at your map, you see where there's like a white triangle between the forest and the grasslands.
yeah.
That's probably where we build it, because you can see the shore from there, you can see the volcano from there, and it's near the river.
Remember,
Yeah.
this is Phillip Island scale.
It's true.
So
Actually, I don't actually know how big Phillip Island is. That was
Phillip
just-
Island is
not-
pretty big.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
Like-
know Tasmania is way bigger than Phillip Island.
Walking from that little white triangle to the beach would
would
probably
be like
take
2 kilometers.
A couple hours.
no, not a couple of hours, but it'd at least take like 20 minutes probably.
Oh, okay. Well then. Oh yeah, that's what I meant. That's perfect scaling. Then.
We'd want to build a
Okay.
sleigh.
Want to build a what?
Sleigh for anything. Because, see, if we're going to go fishing, we're not just going to carry it in our hands all the way there. We
Yeah,
need a sleigh to transport whatever we find or anything.
yeah, it's probably a good idea.
Hmm.
And sleighs are pretty easy to build. They're just like wooden planks with like. See, how would we get string?
You
Yeah.
have fishing line, remember?
Oh yeah, that's right.
And there's
Yes.
also plants that have
Yeah.
Naturally
string-like
leaves
characteristics.
and foliage and stuff like that.
Yeah. Although I think we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves by planning for like a sleigh and a hut and all that. For the first night or whatever, we're probably only gonna need like 3 hammocks.
Oh yeah, I've assumed we've moved past that point. But
Oh,
yeah,
okay. Okay.
I think we're about like 2 weeks in now.
Oh, okay. 2 weeks in.
So
Yep.
like we've been
Yeah.
living in hammocks and we've been building up a hut.
Oh.
Yeah.
And what I mean by hut is it's 2 rooms, like one room with nothing in it so we can sleep, and another with like some chairs and a table.
All right. How
and a
big are the
counter.
rooms?
Like, maybe I don't know. You know, Liam, at your place, you know, your like computer room.
Yep.
Yeah, about that big.
For one room or both rooms?
One.
Chances are both, because you'd be looking. I'm not without the stuff in it. You'd be looking from wall to wall. So if
Yeah.
we cut that in half, there's enough room for us to sleep in one.
Yeah,
And there's
definitely.
enough room for like a couple of chairs and like a
Yeah.
bench at the end.
Yeah.
And it can't be expansive either. Like the bigger house would be not
It'd
huge.
be a waste of
but-
resources.
Yeah, it'd be a
Yeah.
waste just to build something huge out of weak materials before we know our craftsmanship well enough.
Yeah.
And not only that, see, if we use a lot of materials, it's going to be hard to keep the maintenance up. And if it's too big, it's going to be a lot weaker.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Waste resources and all that.
Yeah.
That depends what we're building it out of. Because when we started building, we're building with like wood.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, light things of wood. But let's give it another week, right?
Wait,
the hut's done.
before we go another week.
Oh yeah,
is,
what?
Is this like hut shack thing going to be sitting on the ground or above the ground, or is it going to be?
Slightly above it.
Mm,
Yep. All right. Good. Yeah.
probably
maybe,
by,
like-
you know, like those rulers.
Yeah.
30
About half a
centimeters.
ruler.
All right. So if using your shovel, if we dig 4, maybe 5 holes in the ground, we can simply shove logs in there, and that'll give us a very sturdy
Foundation.
for us to go off.
Mm.
Yeah.
You could probably like chuck some small,
Pebbles or
like a little engrave
leftover
in
wood.
the log so that we can put other
Logs
smaller
on.
logs in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
And you wouldn't want to just do like the 4 needed, like smaller ones on the inside.
Mm.
Yeah.
Alright.
And remember, it has to be quite strong, because like when did we arrive? What season was it? Summer, winter, or?
I'm assuming like beginning of fall.
Okay.
Because summer would be ridiculously hot, and if we jumped in summer, we'd die
Well,
of like, you know, heat stroke and stuff.
if
Yeah.
we were going there on a boat trip, would we be going when it's
Spring.
cold or when it's hot?
Spring.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably
Because
beginning
we
of
wouldn't
spring.
we wouldn't really want to go out there, especially near winter, because that's the rainy season and there's hurricanes and all that.
Yeah.
You know, winter could just be cold. It's not a tropical island anymore.
Oh yeah, that's yeah.
It could even snow.
Yeah.
Like, have you seen Mount Fuji at winter? It completely snows over.
Yeah.
And snow's a good thing because it also melts down into fresh water.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd still have to process it because it's full of dirt and stuff. But
Well, if you have a catch for it, using my rain jacket and just laying it out,
Mhm.
the water would pool in the middle of the rain jacket and you can just drink it.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like,
it's-
there's no dirt doesn't naturally accumulate in snow unless
okay.
it's touched dirt.
Okay.
Like
Alright, well,
rainwater's already distilled, if you will.
Okay, let's move another week then. So
Yeah.
the house is the shack, we're gonna call it,
Yeah.
is done, and we've built the foundation for the house, right?
Yeah.
And we've set up. Well, now it's time to. We've been eating. We've been eating to eat, not for. Like, not for meals.
3 meals a day. Yeah.
We haven't been eating 3 meals a day. We've been eating when we feel hungry. So like 1 in the morning, 1 at night,
Yeah.
and fruit during the day.
No, see, I don't need to eat. I need to eat once a day. So there we go. It's more food for you guys.
I need to at least have breakfast. That's
Mm.
it's
I survive without breakfast.
I don't eat breakfast, but I'll eat lunch.
I think breakfast is probably the most important meal of the day.
So a meal we're probably looking for is maybe brunch,
30.
Yeah, probably.
like 10, like, you know, about 10 o'clock. Of course, we wouldn't know the time, but assuming
Well,
before
that's
the
not
sun
true.
hits,
That's not
before
true.
the sun hits midday.
Grab a
Yeah, what's
stick
up?
and shove it in the sand, and Bob's your uncle. You have a time.
Yeah.
What's
But
with this?
yeah.
Bob's your uncle.
I think that's Liam's catchphrase. Like mine
Like,
is
I've
Robert's
heard
your
it
mother's
a
brother.
lot. Okay, yeah.
Robert's your mother's brother.
So what have we been eating? Bit of bananas, coconuts, and fish.
Bananas, coconuts, probably oranges from the thick in the forest,
Okay.
Sure.
or
Yeah.
apples. You know, a solid fruit.
No, not apples.
Not apples.
If
Yeah,
anything,
apples are a little
mangoes.
hard to grow.
Mangoes, probably.
Oh yeah, mangoes. Yeah, definitely.
Tropical fruit.
Citrus like lime and lemon,
Yeah.
because they pretty much grow anywhere. So we'd probably be eating, you know, fruit majority, not vegetables.
And fish, probably twice, 3 times a week.
Or more.
Yeah. Because, see, we got a little reef, so we got crabs.
Yeah, we'd be eating seafood. We'd be eating seafood once a day.
Yeah.
So is
What
it?
that seafood is.
What kind of climate is this place? Is it tropical or is it
No, it's not
temperate?
I think temperate.
Or is it just like cold or something?
I'm
No.
assuming it's not. It's not like Australia, but it gets hot in summer and it gets cold in winter.
Okay.
You know, and I said it could snow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put it that way. Anywhere, it's sort of like it could. It's not. I'm not saying it will snow,
Yeah.
but it's a possibility.
Yeah.
So we've probably been eating fruit and seafood once a day. What that
Yep.
seafood is changes depending on the day. Like
Yeah.
3 days a week we might eat fish, but the other 2 days, you know, it might be crab or crustacean or.
Do we have any, like, spare wood? Because, see, with the not lagoon, the golf bit, we could cut that in half as, like, an area for caught fish or crabs to keep them alive
Yeah,
for
we
a
could
while.
section it off, I guess.
Yeah. Like, see, we'd do, like, one, which is just nothing can get through, and then the last side would be more like a fence, so, like, smaller fish can get through to, like, feed the crabs and...
Yeah.
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's probably what we would.
You know what we should have brought?
What?
Bandages.
I was gonna bring bandages,
I don't think
Well-
bandages are really necessary.
but you can make bandages.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Like really, bandages. The reason we have bandages is because
Yeah.
they're good at applying pressure. But really, anything that isn't gonna cut you more, like a banana
Leaves
leaf's a
would be
really
fine.
good example.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it can hold pressure, and as long as someone's
Yeah.
holding pressure on it,
And
We'll be fine.
banana leaves are loose enough to be able to tie it up anyway.
Yeah.
and they're also waterproof,
Yeah.
so you're not gonna.
The only
Um,
issue with that is if the banana fruit isn't, if the banana leaf isn't clean,
Yeah.
it could make the infection go festive.
Yeah, you might want to wash it first.
Yeah. Wash it with, probably like heat it.
Yeah.
In heated water. Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get like a pot of heated water and just wash plants off as we go, and then have a
Yeah.
stack.
But you'd
in
have
like
to make
a,
sure, you'd also have to make sure that stack doesn't get it, like, too dirty.
Yeah, but in the shack, there's like a bench right at the end of the room. I assume there would be a cupboard that you could put stuff in.
Yeah. Or like a hook,
That
you
way-
can hang it from the roof or something like that.
Yeah, like a basket.
Yeah.
You know, somewhere we can put it where it's not going to get germy
Yeah.
for non-germy stuff, and then stuff like food we can store in there.
Yeah.
Little cupboard.
How are we going on water about now? Are we
Pardon?
pretty sustainable with water?
You dropped out there. Could you say that again?
Yeah, you did. He said, "What about water?"
Oh, okay. Cool.
Are we sustainable with water and all that?
I suppose
we
so.
still- Well, we wouldn't. What I'm assuming, right, is that the water that we have, half of it would be like ocean water that we would go through Liam's what's it? The one with desaltation,
Desalination.
salination. Close.
Yeah.
That's also the picture of that is on Discord, Liam. If you wanted to put that up.
Yep, I'll
But-
put that up.
Yeah, we could use the desalination device, basically, because it's not a plant, it's not like, a huge building.
Yeah.
We could use that to clean salt water, and the bonus out of that is that we get dry salt.
Yeah.
And dry salt can be used in cooking and sanitizing and things like that.
Alright, so
Like
it's a
if
little
you-
bit of a low quality photo, but it's not so much desalination, just distilling the water. It does basically the same thing. So what it does is it heats up a little bucket of like normal seawater or something like that, or the kind of off bad fresh water that runs through the
Yeah.
middle of the
Do we have
island.
2 buckets?
Yes.
Yeah.
We established that because there'd be one on the boat and you brought one with you.
And then we heat up that water, and some of it evaporates, and we can either use like a piece of metal or my raincoat.
Jacket. Yeah.
And then we have like concrete blocks or something to keep it up, keep it
Yeah.
in the right spot.
in the
yeah.
right spot, and then the water that condenses on that sheet then
Well, we
drips
we
down
wouldn't have,
into a bucket of distilled water.
But we wouldn't have concrete blocks. We'd probably have a large rock
Yeah.
Yeah.
and some logs. Like we'd put rocks between the fire and the logs. The logs can keep it up, and the rocks stop the logs from burning.
Yeah.
That way, it works properly.
Yeah.
And then we can use that to cure bandages. We can use that to cure water. And we can use the salt left over from burning the salt water with ginger to cure seafood without cooking it.
How are we gonna get ginger though?
Wouldn't it grow? It's a plant.
Well, I'm fairly sure ginger's only grows in like a fairly cold climate.
Oh, okay.
Let me just see. It's
Okay.
a Southeast Asian plant.
But anyway, something like ginger or lime juice. We've already
Yeah.
limes.
Yeah.
That and salt usually. It's very acidic, and the Japanese used like the ginger one to cook to cleanse fish, so you could eat it raw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the lime one doesn't cleanse it; it technically cooks it in acid. And some people they try and put it straight in and straight out, so that it's still like raw, half cooked,
Yeah.
but cooked enough sort of fish.
Yeah.
But you could leave it in the pot of acid and it would cook, and we wouldn't have to light a fire just to cook a meal if it
Yeah.
came to that, like during the day.
Yeah.
And then we could, like, if we were having fish for breakfast, say, and then later on at night, then we'd light the fire and cook on the fire.
Yeah.
So cooking with like lime juice, and I think it's lime juice and salt, I believe. If it doesn't, I think I'm missing an ingredient, but it's definitely going to cure the meat, right?
Right.
From anything. Whether it cooks it or not, I don't know. I think I'm missing an ingredient like bicarb soda or something. But yeah, I'll Google it. But yeah, it's basically another way for us to cook food without wasting resources.
Alright, so here it says Ginger loves a sheltered spot with filtered sunlight, warm weather, humidity, and rich soil, or rich moist soil. If you grow it near the volcano and near the river, you're going to have very rich, very moist soil.
Yeah.
So we could cook. We could have ginger.
Yeah, but the thing, and sheltered, filtered sunlight, that's easy because it's in the shade of the trees. And then there's warm weather and humidity, which we don't really have.
Okay. Alright, I got a recipe for fish ceviche. So, to like cook the fish, all you need is fish, lime juice, chili, onion, and tomatoes.
Okay.
The rest is like that's for flavor, and the rest is just optional stuff. But really, all you would need would be it's 4 limes for 50 grams of fish.
Alright.
And you have to cut them small into 1 centimeter cubes to cook properly, or they won't cook all the way through.
Sure.
It says place fish and pour over lime juice and cover or refrigerate for 1 hour.
Yeah.
If you want it completely cooked by acid.
Yeah.
The way the French eat is basically it's barely raw.
Well, if the fish itself is fresh, like if you've just caught it
Yeah.
and just killed it, then you can eat it. That's fine. There will probably be no issue with it as long as you don't touch the guts, of course. But if you wanna cure it so that you can eat it later on, then as you say, having lime and salt or vinegar or something and keeping it in a cool spot is probably a good way to do it.
Yeah, salt works really well for, I think it's up to a day, for curing the fish.
Yeah.
And, like, acid will cook it so that it's, like, rid of salmonella and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So chances are you're going to want to salt it, leave it, then bring it out later in the day, and then cook it in acid.
Yeah. Of course, it'd be better if we had something like,
An esky?
no, if we had beef or something which we can jerk. That sounds bad. If we can jerky it, or what? I don't know what the verb for that would be.
As in turn it into jerky.
Yeah.
Just
How do they turn beef into
Jerkify.
jerky? I don't know.
just a lot of salt.
Yeah, salt curing.
A lot of salt.
No matter how much you say that, Liam, or how many different ways you say it, it's gonna sound bad.
Yep.
What do I do? I jerk it? Do I jerkify it?
Jerkify the beef.
Well,
Alright, well let's give it another 3 weeks.
no, but see, another 3 weeks.
Oh,
Okay,
is it?
that's pretty good. But nothing has happened. See, it's never going to be this smooth running.
No.
Okay, well hit
So
us with a
something-
problem then.
Yeah, I don't know what usually happens.
Maybe let's say one of us gets sick.
Yeah, that'd probably be like Matthew. You get sick a lot.
Yeah.
I don't actually. I don't get sick a lot. I get hay fever.
All right.
and that
Well,
gives me tonsillitis.
The deadly plague of hay fever.
So basically, I'm likely to get tonsillitis.
wait. Let's just say someone is,
Someone did a
Someone's-
stupid thing and a lizard like bit them or some shit.
no.
Let's go
Someone's
with that.
No.
someone is someone's doing something with their hunting knife, and they give
Butcher
themselves
themselves.
they give themselves a deep cut in the thigh, and it's not the bleeding's not stopping.
Okay.
Well, I've got no clue what to do. So chances are it was me that cut my leg so badly.
Yep. Yeah. That would suit. Yeah, definitely be you.
Well, has anyone got a lighter?
You brought flint and steel, remember?
Yeah. All right. So we'd have to start a fire very quick. Then we'd have to get the hunting knife.
Cauterize it, isn't it?
Yeah,
Isn't that the word for
we'd
it?
probably have to cauterize it and then wrap it up in a very, very tight bandage. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wait. How big is the gash?
Okay,
Like how wide?
how wide? The size of my pinky.
So the width of your pinky or the length?
The length. Like, it's not... The cut isn't that deep. It's probably the width of my pinky deep. but it's the length of my pinky across.
It's a big. Oh, okay. So that's not gonna work.
So
Never mind, because
So I've butchered myself, but
Well,
it'll heal.
that wouldn't be a cause for cauterizing.
Oh, okay.
you'd probably die on the spot if it was that wide. Because see what the Native Americans did, because they didn't have stitching, they would get ants, like bull ants, and they would put it on like the. Because see, when you push it against the skin, the ant would bite it and it, close both, like the wound up.
Oh. Okay.
And then you would say, decapitate the ant, and its head would still be biting and closing the wound.
Oh yeah.
Oh. That's
So,
one way
yeah.
of doing it, but that would be painful. But then again, every method is painful.
It'd be a lot less painful than cauterizing.
Yes,
That's true.
it would.
Do you want to go with another hypothetical scenario?
Okay, you got another one?
Yeah,
I just
have.
cut all on my pencil.
No.
We
We like either overfish or during the wet season fish stop coming. There's no fish.
Where we have to go vegan.
see with
Because
okay,
soy...
say
Sorry.
there's a dramatic drop in fish
Mm-hmm.
catching, which is not a lot already because it's fish. Well, it's not a tropical island, but there is a reef.
Mhm.
Like we have a little reef, so therefore there is probably a bigger reef out there, which would
Yeah.
mean there is more fish. So, and with fish there are sharks. Oh, getting into my
Area of expertise.
area of
Yeah,
expertise.
Noah's area of expertise.
So we would need to cut a fish or injure it badly and let it swim away to attract sharks.
Sharks. But let's go on the hypothetical situation. And I know this isn't going to happen because there's a reef.
Yeah.
But if we could not find any fish
Yeah. Okay.
or any type of like meat,
There are lizards on the island, isn't there?
there is. But
Yeah.
the situation, if there's no meat
Yeah.
or at least they're in hiding and we can't find them, we would have to go vegan until meat came back.
Yeah.
Well, that is if this is happening during the winter, there's probably not a lot of food around
No.
at all.
But it's not tropical, so there would be evergreen plants.
Yeah, but fruit and stuff. No fruit is... Well, no, that's not true. There probably is some fruits, but none of the fruits that we have on the island are evergreen fruits, if you will. They're not always flowering.
Berries do.
No, they don't.
And they do. We've got a blackberry bush at the back, and that's growing blackberries all year round.
Oh, okay. Oh,
So-
alright. I didn't think they did.
Yeah, it's probably not all berry plants. Like, I don't think strawberry plants grow during the winter.
No.
Yeah.
But our blackberry bush will not stop growing blackberries all throughout the year.
Yeah.
I mean, it's technically a weed, and the thing with blackberries
Yeah.
is that you have to make sure they're ripe. If they're not ripe, they can be poisonous.
And we've also got very rich soil because of the volcano, so
Yeah.
it'd probably be easier for plants to grow anyway.
So chances are it's going to be thick and full of blackberries. The thing with blackberries is that they're a short supply of fruit, but they're full of flavor, so we could coat something
Yeah.
less, I don't know, very bland, like maybe soybean. I believe soybean's evergreen. I'll Google it, but
I'm not sure we'd be finding soybean there. Isn't soybean only like a wet kind of plant?
Oh wait.
I don't know. I think it's yeah, I don't know. It doesn't say anything here.
We can always resort to lizards.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we could hunt lizards, I guess. Like that
And
would be.
We don't want to hunt them to extinction. 'Cause
No,
with,
but-
with all of the salt we get, it's probably best for us to
Kill
cure-
once weekly.
cure all of the meat we have.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, what's going to happen is we would say Noah fishes at once every day, right? Or at least checks the net once a day.
Yeah.
And anything that is in the net, he brings in. Whether we eat one thing a night, whether that's a bunch of scallops, a bunch of clams, a crab,
Crabs.
or a fish.
We
There's gonna be
practically have a
more-
crab farm, so crabs are pretty. We can really rely on crabs, I guess.
But the thing is that even if we don't eat it, the only problem is that the only thing we can really cure is anything we cut up.
Yeah.
Mm.
But we can only cut up so much. Like fish are very easy because they die out of water, right?
Yeah.
I'm a humane person. I'm not like
Yeah.
all for animals. Animals deserve more rights, but I'm not gonna.
And we have the
I'm not gonna rip a crab's back open if it's still moving.
Yeah, what you do with a fish is you like, with your hunting knife, you just give it a stab in the head. Because when I went like fishing somewhere when I was younger at like a trout farm or something, what they did when I got some fish is they'd say, "Oh, that's cool, you got a fish." And then they'd pick up the rainbow trout and it was still kind of flopping around. They'd get it out of the bucket. And then they'd get like this tool and they just smack its head so hard and its like entire face just fell off. And it's like, "Aw,
man.
you got a rainbow trout. You can go home and cook that." Oh.
I remember our friend when we went fishing. He left them in a bucket with no water, and they basically they suffocated to death. So by the time we came back, they were already dead. So we could just fillet them.
Yeah.
We didn't have to kill them on the spot.
Yeah, but see, crabs. They're not
Live
really
out of
gonna-
water.
Yeah. So, and with that little farm we have, all we'd have to do is whack it over the head with a hammer.
Or another
I
way
mean,
to
not
kill
hammer, shovel.
another way to kill crabs is to chuck them in boiling water.
Yeah.
If we can get water to a boiling point, we can just chuck in crabs, kill them, and then
Yeah.
store them in their shells so that the meat stays fresh. I guess.
Fresh, kind of fresh.
I don't know.
think it
Maybe better to take it out and cure it.
just cure everything.
Yeah.
Just cure
everything.
Yeah.
Like that's what we're doing. Everything we find is just instantly cured.
Unless it's plants.
Yeah.
So then, if we do go into like a week where we don't have,
Yeah.
where we can't catch anything, we're gonna have. If we scarcely eat, we're gonna have enough
Yeah.
meat to eat. Plus, there's also snakes, right? Because there's lizards.
Yeah.
And my dad said he'd eaten snake once, and it tasted exactly like chicken.
See, the problem with snake, because
Is
it's
that it can kill you?
I don't know, it's guaranteed to be poisonous.
It's guaranteed, or it's unlikely.
It's guaranteed.
It's just better not to touch it, really.
Okay. Yeah,
Because
but
the
that's
snakes could just
last case scenario. If we got to that point, snake is an alternative.
And there's also mushrooms. Like, mushrooms can grow anywhere.
yeah.
Did your mum ever tell you not to eat wild mushrooms?
Yes, but I was reading that like a survival manual, and I think
you
it
may
was.
grow. You never know.
Some wild mushrooms you can eat, but a majority of them are poisonous.
I was reading a survival manual, and they said no poisonous mushroom grows above waist height. I'm not sure how true that is though. I think it was written.
Maybe we can feed it to the lizards, and if the lizards die, then we know not to eat it.
Well,
If they-
that's
if they
not
live
true.
from it.
That's not true because some like animals can have poisonous fruit and stuff and still be fine.
Like
okay.
sharks.
Yeah.
They're immune to poison.
Of course,
So-
no one
so-
knows
yeah,
that
yeah.
sharks do that.
When are like, because eventually, because we're gonna be like in the water, doing stuff.
Yeah, like hunting and
hunting and all that, having trying to
getting
catch
clean.
fish. Yeah,
Who needs to get clean? We have to worry about surviving first.
yeah.
Yeah.
When is the shark gonna come into play? Because a shark is bound to show up eventually.
Not to the island.
Hmm?
Not to the island.
Yeah.
Because it's shallow. Like the
Oh
whole way
yeah,
around.
but still,
Yeah.
you'll be able to.
In that gulf, it's deep. The gulf is the deepest part of the water because there's the coral reef. Right?
Yeah.
And it goes down.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's still like, imagine, it's sort of like, it'd be like if a shark, you know, have you seen the trains in Japan
Yeah.
during peak hour where they actually have to hire people to push people into trains?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I think for a shark, they're not going to want to come up to the coral reef because the top of the water and where the bottom of the reef is they're going to have to be squeezing.
Not necessarily. Like sharks will.
Well, it depends how
Fine.
big the shark you're talking about. Like, if you're talking about a mini shark, then yeah, we'd see some.
Okay,
But if
okay,
you're talking about a big...
So, how many meters from the shore is it that the water hits shoulder height
shoulder height...
or waist
Okay, well, you
height?
look-
Waist height.
Okay, so look on the right side of the map, and do an L shape with your thumb and your finger,
Yeah.
and put your thumb on the rock,
Yeah.
and basically where your knuckle is where it's deep water.
Okay. So that's what depth is that shoulder?
You're just above shoulder height. There.
So what did you say? How
So if you get
far?
your thumb, if you get your thumb and your finger,
Yeah.
right, and you do an L shape, you put your thumb on the edge of the black cliff.
Yeah.
Your knuckle is where it's shoulder height.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
I'll
see,
just
sharks-
say that is like 40 kilometers out to sea.
Yeah. Yeah. It would be.
Oh, okay.
No.
Well, smaller than.
So
Okay,
20
yeah,
kilometers
'cause
out
it's
to
still
sea.
a island size. No. Okay. Okay. So look at this like this. Sharks. The average shark that would swim around coral is probably a tiger shark. Like that. That's the biggest you're gonna get.
They're the ones about the size of your arm, right?
Tiger sharks, they grow to 5 meters. Five,
Oh.
some
What?
6.
Oh no, I'm thinking of gummy sharks.
Yeah, but see, if a tiger shark is there, they love shallow water, so they'll probably end up swimming to our waist height.
Okay.
That is where they are comfortable swimming.
But we wouldn't be out that far
Yeah,
unless we're deliberately looking for sharks. We would not be out that far.
or bigger fish.
Or bigger fish like tuna.
Tuna, no. Tuna, tuna is like as big as you, Matthew, and they're a huge pain. It takes like 2 of them to bring them on board a ship
Yeah.
with like
Oh,
they're
professional
huge.
material.
I knew tuna were big, but I didn't think they were that big.
No, they're massive, and they've got a lot of power. They're very
You know,
Like,
it's funny, I
with
thought-
professional material. They can, if 2 people are trying to lift it, they can probably push 1 person overboard.
Yeah.
I thought when I was a little kid, because you know how tuna always came in cans.
You thought
I
they were
thought-
tiny.
Yeah.
I thought they were tiny.
I must
And I
admit,
thought
I'm guilty of that one too.
I thought the
Yeah.
reason it came in a tin was because they couldn't show one fish because it would be too small to eat.
Yeah.
So they cut up the fish and put it all into one tin, so you had a certain amount of tuna.
You had enough to eat.
And then I saw someone cooking with tuna, and I went, "What the hell? That's so big!"
Yeah.
And the average tuna is massive.
You can get smaller tuna, which are
Yeah.
like as long as my torso to my head, so you can put it on a bench.
No, small tuna are probably a bit smaller than you. Then you got like blue and yellowfin tuna, which are massive. They're
Yeah.
humongous.
Oh yeah.
Like, wow.
But let's say, in another hypothetical situation, we get to the point where the house is built,
Nice and built.
but there's no furniture in it. What do we build the furniture out of?
Wood.
And what furniture do we build?
We'd just
As in, like,
build
what
a
comes
wooden frame.
first?
Wooden frame for, and then just palm leaves for the bed.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, we
Because-
just stack palm leaves on top, like a thick stack. Ooh, what?
Yeah, I know, but you're saying you've got a wood block, and on top of the wood block, it's just
No, like a wooden frame.
Okay,
And I'm
so
not
you
talking
jump.
about-
So you jump in the bed and you sink lower than.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm not sure. I think if we're building a
Because
bed,
it's not a wood block; it's a wooden frame. That I'm
I think if
talking
we were
about.
building a bed, what we'd do is you'd get. By the time we've built this house, idea is that we're probably having something to stitch with.
Yeah, probably.
Whether it's thick, like fiber from a plant, or it's Noah's fishing rod, we've got something to hand sew.
Yeah.
Because I remember how to hand sew from doing textiles. That's probably the only thing I remember.
Right. You remember that gash that you got because you were just playing with a knife?
Yeah.
We could use stitches with the fishing wire.
Yes.
How
Yes,
much
we could.
fishing wire have
totally
you got?
Huh?
I'm assuming
like
a large reel.
Alright.
Like a big mound.
So a reel probably the size of your head.
Wow, that's a big reel.
It's a big
reel.
reel, but
That's
You can probably get reels that big for like a yacht. That wouldn't be out of the question, I don't think.
I'm assuming I think that we would, if Noah was going to go out of his way to bring fishing wire, he would bring a big thing of fishing wire.
enough to survive.
Yeah. So
You saw it end.
usually, I think the things that have run out by now is my pen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
One of
Yeah.
the buckets is likely
To
to
have
have a
broken.
hole in it.
I don't.
Well, we could still use the steel.
I don't
Steel
think
is
that's
still
so likely, actually.
You don't think so?
No, buckets tend to be pretty sturdy, especially if they're made out of steel.
I was assuming it was a tin bucket.
Oh, well, if it's
Like-
just like a thin tin bucket, then yeah, it probably has broken. Especially with the
like-
amount of salt water we've put in it.
Like the
Yeah.
one that's been on the flame with the salt water is probably got a huge hole in the bottom. So we can still use the tin for stuff like putting it underneath our fireplace so that the fire doesn't burn through the floor.
Yeah.
The coals don't burn through anything. But really, we're only going to have one bucket in action, which is the one where the distilled water.
Yeah.
So we're probably going to have to build a stone pot.
What do you mean
Or-
the embers like burning through the floor? You're not going to be distilling inside, I hope.
No, you can't.
No,
Okay,
I was
good.
I'm
Have a
assuming
fire
we would
in-
have. I was assuming we would have a fireplace by now.
Yeah, but
I
inside
wouldn't risk it, to be honest.
I would have built a patio separate from the house. Just for
And
the
then
fire.
built the fire in the patio.
Yeah.
That's a good plan.
But it wouldn't be that close to the house for reasons.
Or maybe another room with a fire pit in the middle of it and like sheet walls.
Now,
So like those veranda outback patios that you see on TV with like the blinds that go down, so we can roll up the blinds and roll them down depending on the weather and stuff.
yeah.
You've got to
And
be
we have a
very, very
room.
careful when you're building a fireplace.
Yeah, see, I don't want it that close to the house, but I want it close enough where we can warm up and then just go to bed.
And warm our
thinking-
clothes.
I was thinking
Yes.
something that we could do. This is just coming to my mind as like an ingenious idea. If we built the fire
Yeah?
on like a little thing of like pebbles and stuff and tin
Yeah.
surrounded so that the fire doesn't spread onto the deck. We build it out a little further from the house. It does catch on fire. It's sever the link between that room and the house, and then that's going to burn, and we just have to build that again. But chances are, if the fire's on, we're going to be watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not going to leave the fire on with no one watching it. If
No.
you're the last person there, you'd put out the fire and then go to bed.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
I feel something we could do is put, I don't know, I'm assuming it's not tropical, but there would be some tropical plants.
Yeah.
If it's like, I don't know how much bamboo there would be, right? But if there were bamboo, like the thick type, you could make a tube going from close to the fire of dried out bamboo. You have to dry it first, or it's susceptible to burning. Once it's dry, it actually becomes flame resistant on the outside. So
Okay.
build a tube, hollow it out, because they do actually have bits in the middle where they're
Yes.
sealed. Hollow it out and build a large tube that goes all the way from the fire to the back of our bedrooms and make ducted heating. Then while the fire's on, then the heat from the fire goes through the tube because hot air rises and falls through into our rooms.
Yeah, but you know what also rises?
What?
Carbon monoxide.
Like smoke.
Carbon monoxide is like smoke but poisonous.
Oh.
And there's a lot of that in a fire.
Oh, okay, I didn't know.
I think we should just like build an area for the fire and just not have it near the house and not be connected whatsoever.
Or maybe like build it
Yeah.
as for the equivalent of across the street.
Yeah.
Sure.
And we can
But
put
yeah.
we can put like a walkway so that we can walk without shoes. Like it wouldn't be out of wood because fire spreads across wood.
Yeah.
It'd probably be out of
You know what else?
leaves and stone probably.
Yeah, you know what else? I'm pretty sure hurricanes also attract fish to areas, so...
Why would there be a hurricane?
I was just gonna say that. What would happen in a
Be-
hurricane?
Yeah, because we're in the middle of the ocean. That's where hurricanes start. We're bound to hit a lot of hurricanes.
But I'm assuming if it was a hurricane, like Hurricane Tracy, right? We're not gonna be like ground zero.
We probably would be.
Well, then we're stuffed.
It's assuming the island is the size of Phillip Island, and you have ocean all around.
Mm-hmm.
Hurricanes form in the ocean. They form from hot air colliding with cold air, and you know.
Yeah.
a
Since the
vortex.
land is big enough, it will probably... Wait, what are you thinking? That the hurricane's gonna... The island's gonna be the same size as the vortex, or...
the island is going to be the same size as Phillip Island, and the
Yeah.
if you have a look at most hurricanes, the vortex is huge.
Yeah.
You can get hurricanes that are Victoria huge.
Maybe we should build like a ground zero shelter.
We should.
Yeah.
Build it in the grasslands because if you build
We
it
don't
in
want
the
any
forest,
trees.
Yeah, there's a chance that a tree's gonna fall down.
Yeah.
So build it in the grasslands and basically get the shovel and dig 2 stories down
Yeah.
and build 2 floors. So the bottom floor is where we stay,
Yeah.
and it would have a ladder so we can go up and down.
Yeah.
It's where and there would be a spare ladder in case that ladder flew away. Just in case.
Yeah.
Just in case it gets sucked out of the hole, there's a ladder. And the top one would be where we put like the emergency food.
No, see, if it's
And-
ground zero, we want it as strong as possible.
Yeah.
So there would be one room that is big enough for us to sleep and store food.
And then
And we would-
fortifications.
Yeah, like, see, the roof would be a bunch of logs that we can, like, lift and all that.
Yeah.
But we also don't want to trap ourselves inside.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
one thing as
So-
well.
So maybe keep.
Yeah, but, yeah,
If we dig deep enough, the ground's gonna get firm,
yeah.
right?
But we still want to...
And what-
hurricanes don't really damage the ground much.
I know. That's
No.
but what I'm saying is if it rips stuff out, we're gonna want to be deep enough to where we can hold a massive amount of roof on
Yeah.
top without the ground buckling and us getting crushed
Yeah.
Yeah,
underneath.
that would suck.
If the weight holds for a month without buckling or moving, chances are during a hurricane it's only going to relieve pressure on what's on top.
Yeah.
The
So
thing,
it's not
the
going
difference
to
between a hurricane and a tornado is a tornado tends to suck things up, but
Mhm.
a hurricane,
Is
just-
lots of wind and
yeah,
just
rain.
wind.
it's just
rain,
wind.
yeah.
It's very vertical and kind of rotational wind. It's not so much.
You mean horizontal?
Yeah, I mean horizontal. I was just about. Yeah.
Okay, well then we don't have to worry about a massive roof on top. Just something that's going to stay intact.
make sure it's underground, because
Oh,
if,
yeah.
yeah, if there's something that can collide with the wind, it's probably not going to be there.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So
we also need
build it on
like,
level with
we
the
also
ground.
need like charcoal and all that in there for lighting and stuff. I don't know.
And you're going to want ventilation holes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if we light a fire down the bottom, like I'm assuming it would be enough room for a couple of barrels of stuff on the side, and there's a campfire in the middle that we can sit around.
Hmm.
You would need to put ventilation holes in the roof so that
Yeah.
all the gases
But
and
then
smoke
rain.
from the fire goes up. What about the rain?
It's gonna be raining. If you're putting ventilation holes, there's gonna be some rain. It gets in.
Then make the ventilation holes. I draw.
You can
Imagine a Z. Imagine a Z shape
you can
Yeah.
you can have a
upside
flange.
down.
You can have a flange, and that they use that in fireplaces as well, so that the fumes can go up, but the rain doesn't come down.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay, I got you.
Oh yeah, like a thing at the top, so that
Yeah.
so nothing goes down it, but the stuff goes all the way up and then comes out the sides. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sort of. It's like a
That's
little
probably a good
ledge at the top.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because we've got a fireplace. It's got one.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the disaster covered.
Hmm.
What else?
Is there?
So
is
how
there
far are we on this island? Like, how long has it been?
Well, after devastation and a house has been built, probably we're looking at 1 season
Yeah, that seems pretty realistic.
for the house to be complete, not the furniture and all that sort of stuff. The house, ground zero, like bunker, and the fire pit, as well as maybe a fishing hut near the beach, so you can store your fishing equipment somewhere else.
Yeah.
Then, and all the fish guts and stuff can be over there with the plants, so we can grow plants with the guts as fertilizer.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that's very disgusting, but
Yeah.
like chicken poo and like guts really work well. They're quite nutritious for plants, as well as ash.
Yeah. I don't think nutrition in the soil is so much of a problem for us because we're living on a volcanic island.
But I'm saying we could make our own soil so we can plant stuff near the water. So like we could dig a stretch of land in the sand and just put our own fertilized dirt in it.
Yeah, but if the island itself would have been formed from the volcano, and all of the soil and stuff would have the volcanic ash in it anyway. Of course, if you want to put extra fertilizer in it, that's not going to hurt it. That will just make it grow faster. But it's not so much an issue as if you were doing it on like a desert island or something where it's very little nutritional value in the soil.
So that's like, that sort of. But really, what comes next, right? We've only gone through 1 season of the 8 seasons that we're going to be there for.
Yeah.
So the 1 season, that's the survival phase. Just basically ticking off everything we need to survive.
So
properly.
now it's gotten to the point.
Now it's the luxury stage.
Yes.
We move into entertaining ourselves, making life more comfortable, making food more not ranged almost, like we have a bigger selection of food and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, I think
what we should make first, right? The first things we should make are, of course, beds, obviously.
Yeah.
And I think something first is an esky.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Because I'm assuming you'd make it out of stone or like something solid.
Yeah.
That isn't going to heat up majorly.
Yeah.
And what you can do with an esky, right, is you can make it have 2 levels. So like you've got the outer shell and then an inner shell, and around the outside, around in the middle, there's like a gap on the edges.
Yeah.
You can fill that with water, and then chuck it out during the winter season.
All right. Well,
And as it freezes over, then bring it back in, and it's cool. Alright, guys, this is where we're going to end it for this half of this podcast. The other half will be on my channel. What we're going to do is we're going to split it into two. First half that we just talked about was about surviving, and now up to the stage where we're building luxuries for ourselves and what those luxuries are going to be. That's going to be coming out very shortly. And right now, leave a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to our main channel for all your updates for our podcast. And also, you can request podcasts that you would like to hear from us at our Gmail and our Podomatic account. Other than that, we'll see you guys next time.
thank
Yeah.
you.
So yeah.
Goodbye.
Thank you. What a generic outro. Who says thank you at the end of a video?
Well-
Wait, did
Who says thank you?
oh my
Imagine,
god.
imagine if PewDiePie, right, was
Thank you
playing
for
with
listening to
Markiplier,
me.
and Pewds finishes the outro, and then Mark goes, "Yeah, thanks." Like,
Wait. I have no idea, but did Liam say thank you or?
he said thank you.
I
I
meant-
finished the outro, and I said, "I'll see you."
Yeah,
Thank
I meant to say, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. But I thought I'd say thank you, and then I kind of had a mind lapse, and I just stopped.
I felt like you were gonna say something more like "thanks
Yeah,
for watching,"
same.
but you just went "thanks for." Oh, okay. I'm gonna grab another drink. Hold on, I'll be back.
No, it's like the second part.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say the second part is like $2.99
You can buy the second half of this
Yeah.
podcast for $2.99.
to tune in for
For
$2.99.
An
6
in-app
easy
purchase.
payments of $2.99.
Yeah, I was thinking of saying that, but Liam just like no, not Liam, but Matthew just didn't have like any opening.
All right.
All right.
And I was also
I'll
gonna
be
say
back in
like,
I'll be back in 5. I just gotta grab a drink. And
I'll
Yeah.
stop recording now.